Hi, my name is Angela Maye-Banbury and I work at Sheffield Hallam University. I'm a member of staff based in the Department of the Natural and Built Environment. There is a saying, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And that's a really apt way of capturing what everyone has to gain from immersing themselves in a different cultural context. The particular cultural context I want to talk to you about for the next minute or so is France. My first experience of France was going on a field trip at secondary school, like most people, where I went as a tourist. But I suppose over the years I've been going back more as a traveller, someone who's really sought to immerse themselves in the culture of the country. In my teenage years, I worked in the hotel industry and the retail industry, and then before coming to university, I took a year out and I spent 6 months of that in Paris and the remaining 6 months working in rural France. Although I studied French and business administration at university, I didn't really use my French properly in a professional context until I was in my mid-20s when I began my first academic post. And I realised that I was one of the few people within my department who could speak French, and as a consequence was invited to take part in what proved to be a major research project funded by the Joseph Rowntree Foundation that looked at different models of home ownership in France. So I found myself translating some really interesting documents that prior to that hadn't been made available in English. So that felt really good and I felt very, very comfortable doing that. Since then, I've been involved in a range of research projects where I've used my French in different ways. That's been ranging from translation work, but also looking critically at what we in England can learn from the French research method. French in sociological research tend to differ a lot to philosophy, very, very different. So when I've been back to Paris, for example, I found myself in areas like Saint-Germain-des-Prés, which was the epicenter of philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre, Simone de Beauvoir, Albert Camus, the existentialist. And you can almost feel their presence within those areas, and with knowledge like that really enhances your ability to empathise with French culture. I'm still doing my research in France. My doctorate thesis a little while ago was based on a comparative review of homelessness in 3 European countries, looking at gender in particular, and France was one of those countries. So I've worked with academic partners at the University of Lyon, at 2 universities in Paris, and this Easter time I'm actually going back to one of the places where I stayed when I was 16 to meet the then owner of the hotel, who's since become a leading chef in the Loire Valley in France. So really good to see that his career has developed too. And my most recent French related project is looking at an estate about 10-12 miles to the northeast of Paris called Sèvres. It's a forgotten estate. It was very much part of the brutalist architecture movement, which is a fascination of mine, but it was an estate that has attracted very little investment. So I'm looking at the importance of community politics in shaping the residents' experiences on that estate. So I'm really looking forward to that. Here in Sheffield, we're very privileged to have what was previously a social housing development called Park Hill Flats. And Park Hill Flats drew inspiration from the French-Swiss architect Le Corbusier. So you don't have to go very far to see all these different influences that French has had in my own professional life. And I would really urge you to, when you do go to other countries, keep a total open mind. You never know what you're going to learn, you never know who you're going to meet, and you never know how you'll use all that knowledge. So as the French say, à bientôt, et bon courage, good luck.